Welcome back, everybody, to what could be the final game of the I-League Grand Finals. The lion's share of a $277,000 prize pool at play, and Vici Gaming one win away from claiming it. This is game number 3. Vici Gaming sticking to their guns as far as bans go in the first stage. They lead this set 2-0. It is a best of 5, so they just need one more win over the potentially the next 3 games to take. With that said, I'm LDB on the summit, and I have the distinct pleasure of being joined here by Sindrin. Hey, Sint.
Hello. A little bit of a long break between games 2 and 3 here, but I believe there were some giveaways at the LAN event, so that's why there's been a little bit of a pause here to please the crowd. So, yeah, we're back for game number 3. The previous 2 games were very one-sided, I have to say, or I guess it's unfair to OB to say they were that one-sided, but the end of the games turned out to be really one-sided. OB had some good strikes here and there, but overall they've just been outclassed, and we'll see if they can bounce back. I think winning 3 games in a row against Vici Gaming, if you're any team in the world, is a tall order, so I wish them best of luck.
Winning 1, honestly, would be impressive enough to me. Like, they've just been, like you said, outclassed. There's really no other way to put it. And, I mean, I think it was a good way to explain it when you're just like, it seemed like they just had odd lapses in concentration. Like, that feeding spree middle lane where FY got 3 kills, basically the same way with Black. Just Hero just waltzes out into the lane all by himself, dies to a Burrow Strike double-edged stomp. Then it happens 2 more times, like in slightly different positions. But I mean, where do you think these guys are going to go? You keep on giving them kills. We know these players are capable of better. They obviously haven't been playing in an intense competitive environment. This team was designed to have fun. They were not trying to become like, you know, make a comeback. And hey, if they do well in tournaments, it's a bonus. But we are seeing OB a little bit rusty. But if they want to shake the rust off, it better come soon. So we're not going to see Tiny West this game, Sind. No Drow Visage either. Both of those heroes were removed. They even went so far as to ban that FY Sand King. That's a respect ban if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, he kind of destroyed them in the previous game, so using the second phase for a ban like this I think is perfectly okay. I don't really know what else OB should be banning right now apart from that, so I think it's a perfectly valid ban here. What I'm more curious about is where they want to go with their own draft rather than what they're scared of. Because in the previous 2 games, the first game they had a really, I want to say early mid-game oriented draft, and then the next one they had a more late game and teamfight oriented draft, and both of them got shut down. So do you look for a third way of playing, or do you feel like you can still try one of the previous strategies and just try to execute it better? It looks like they are trying for a little bit of a hybrid so far, where they have the Void for the good late game, and of course the teamfight together with Invoker. Maybe a little more control and a little less ultra carry, because maybe the previous game was a little bit overkill with Kunkka, Void, and the Terrorblade.
Yeah, I think hybrid sounds good. That game, to be fair, OB had a good enough start. The laning stage didn't go that great from the very beginning, but they got the first blood on the Void, and then he was shut down in lane, whereas the Enigma of Ice was getting a lot more. But they caught up. They had a couple good fights. There was the 2-hero Chrono into Boat, where they got an easy double kill. They just got out-executed to me, and then that gave the mech to Ice. It gave the Sand King the makings of his Ags, and that's where it really started to fall apart. So it was kind of a tenuous draft. If they whiffed a Chrono or 2, then they'd get rolled over by the push. But with this draft, it is still fairly, I want to say one-dimensional. Is that the word? I mean, they have late game, but there's just going to be this window where if your Chrono's not up, you are just not taking any kind of fight with Shadow Demon Leshrac as your supports in the mid-game. So I do worry a bit for OB in that sense. But with that said, if they can get these early roams and Sunstrikes happening, then a lot of pick-off potential for the start.
Yeah, and I think they're going to need to do that, because the mid lane is going to get crushed if Vici Gaming do what I think they're going to do here. They'll probably put the Lich Morphling mid, which is something we did end up seeing quite a bit. I think there were a couple of games at TI4 with this exact lane going mid. I seem to recall that. Or maybe it was in the qualifiers, but it actually started.
It was a lot of Lich Morphling. This was when Sylar was on the team. Vici did it in the main event and in the qualifiers and in the group stage. Like, they were running this a lot. You are correct there.
Yeah, and so they're really comfortable with this kind of stuff. And this dual lane pretty much beats every single dual lane in the game, because you will outlevel your opponents. Morphling has extremely good base last hit damage when he morphs into agility. Of course, he got nerfed a little bit on his base damage at a point, but he's still going to be perfectly fine in that lane. No single hero stands a chance against pretty much any Lich dual lane, and I do not think OB have a dual lane that can beat this. The best bet they have right now is actually running the Shadow Demon Leshrac, but they'll never be able to burst the Morphling. He can just waveform out. And speaking of which, that's actually a big problem their lineup does have. How do they kill the Morphling right now? They need the Void to get farm or the Invoker to play Exort, else it's just not happening.
Yeah, and even then, I feel like they also need the Soul Catcher to hit the Morphling, which should be possible, but they need everything basically thrown on them. Soul Catcher, Disruption, Shadows. Oh, okay. This gets interesting now. I do want to say, Vici Gaming, it's a very just heavy deny strat now, Sin. They've got the Enigma for Ice 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 and the Lich, which looks like FY will be playing, though. Maybe they'll swap him around with Fenrir on the Skywrath Mage. Not sure. But that said, you see a very experience-driven team here. And actually a role swap for the old boys, it looks like, as the Invoker will be handled by Long DD. So DD, who was playing that 3-position role, sometimes even a 2-position for this team, or oh, sorry, not 2, a 1-position, depending on how the lanes went, he will now go into the support role, which he's certainly accustomed to. They'll swap Long DD over to the carry, and, well, Sin, I want to talk Shadow Fiend. This is a hero that we just haven't seen in the new patch much, despite the Arcana, which sadly is, which I don't believe he has. Yeah, no Arcana for Zhou, even with all those TI winnings. Can't afford it, I guess.
He bought those meds.
He got the Alzheimer's meds instead. That's right.
Yeah, well, Shadow Fiend got buffed marginally in this version. I don't really think it matters all that much. It's more... I think we could see some resurgence of Shadow Fiend in the middle lane if he gets off to a good start, because he just controls the lane so damn well with the denies. And now that that's better and he will more reliably be able to grab runes, because of the bounty rune, he's actually becoming a pretty potent mid laner. He's one of the old mid laners that just used to get picked all the time because he would dominate lane and snowball from there, but in recent times hasn't been that successful, and in this kind of game you just don't put your Shadow Fiend mid. It's absolute suicide running him into Lich Morphling, so they're going to safe lane him and put the Invoker mid, which I think is the better choice. Something I'm interested about, though, is what's your opinion on the new model? Because some people think it looks kind of silly. I wonder if it's just because they're used to the old one, but the spellcast animations have been, I think, been getting a little bit of flack. I think he looks pretty cool, but I think it's just a matter of getting used to it.
He has more of a swagger with the way he walks, which does harken back to, like, my favorite part about the hero in Warcraft 3. His head looks a little small, though. I think that's what's bothering me right now, is it's got, like, a pinhead. I like him with the I like him with the flames, but well, we're gonna see some early roaming. So let's run through our lineups real quickly. DD will be playing your Shadow Demon 820. The last track it will be Zhou handling that Shadow Fiend. Needs to buy that Arcana. Someone please get this man the upgrade. Long DD your solo mid Invoker against the Lich Morphling, and Shao 8 on the offlane roll. But we're gonna have a clash off the bat. On to Fenrir they'll go. Disruption to start this one. The Split Earth can follow. It will be mistimed. Oh no! Now 820 gets stomped, and what should have been a pretty much a freebie, at least high damage, if not a kill. Amounts to little. Over on the side of Vici Gaming, Ice 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 will be your Enigma. The dual lane mid will be Black on the Morphling, trying to fill Sylar's big shoes that he did a great job with the TA4. FY will be your Lich, and then to the offlane goes Super on the Centaur, and Fenrir on the Skywrath Mage. So, well, a miscue there from OB early on, Sint.
Yeah, this is a very rare mistake as well in high-level games. This is a combo that you've played a lot, and there's even an audio cue that you can hear when the disruption is about to end to time your Split Earth. So even on this kill, the hero they were landing it on did not have an escape mechanism like a blink or anything like that. So you actually have a little bit of leeway with hitting the stun, but just a little bit of... maybe they're a little nervous now, or I don't know. I feel like these guys are so incredibly experienced that that shouldn't really come into play here, but... I miss play nevertheless, and it's a shame because that was a safe first blood right there. If Joe gets the last hit, he even gets a lot of souls as well going with that. But still, he's going to get good farm. Now, my bigger concern for OB is the mid lane, and I'll be coming back to this a little bit because Invoker, pardon me, Invoker doesn't stand a chance here. And if you're looking for someone to fill Sylar's shoes on the Morphling, I think Black is a pretty good choice.
Excellent last hitter with the Lich support him, and just to expand on your point, Invoker desperately needs his levels, especially the Exort Invoker. We'll see FY charging with the haste turn here, top lane, but it's just harassment for now. Can't really go on anyone. But he desperately needs the levels, even against a Morphling 1v1. We've seen this matchup be difficult, but with the early denies from Lich, it's damn impossible. 13-9 for Black. Long DD can get zoned out of the lane easily by waveform and right clicks, and Eventually, he'll probably get a Midas to try and catch up, but he's got 3 CS Sind, and it's not going to get any better without support. And the Lich even comes back mid, so they're going to continue punishing him.
And he also doesn't have regen. He started with an Null Talisman, which I think is incredibly greedy against the lane he could expect to go up against here. He got pooled 2 tangos that he already used, and now he's out of lane. He's even skilling 2 points next sword, so he has Sunstrike right now, and Black can just force him out alone.
He needs a Sunstrike kill, I feel like. Like, he has to get one somewhere. Also, I'm not really sure how he gets back in this game. They do have good setup for it, though. They have the Disruption into Split Earth. They're gonna smoke now. It's actually not spotted by Vici, but if they're gone for long, this might become obvious anyway, as they do have that ward behind the tower. And they're gonna make their way towards mid. Do they have the damage to kill off Black, will be my question, Sind.
No.
No, they'll go top instead. Okay.
They don't. There's no cold snap, and then there's no way. He'll just wait for him afterwards. He even has 2 points in Morph, so can get plenty of strength. But this gank needs to work out, although Joe is already on the receiving end here. Super, if he lands this stomp, he's probably dead.
They don't end up hitting the stomp. The Sunstrike comes through. First Blood will go the way of OB. Sadly, not going to that Invoker. A20 now trying to turn on FY, but he does have pretty good move speed. The raise from Joe, not connecting, but he'll follow it up with... Oh, the creeps assisting him. He's got the long range raise. There you go. Jams it in, but dies to them in exchange. Oh, that hurts. FY trying to juke. He won't end up living. It's a bloodbath in the top lane. The slight victors here will be OB, though it may end up being a full 3-man wipe for both teams with Offender's respawn. Juking on the other direction. They've now thrown out a Soul Catcher. Turns around for the nuke. DD feeds away a freebie. And doesn't even get a return kill. Sunstrike also horribly whiffing. Just assuming Fenrir would stop, I guess, and, well, maybe expecting him to try and juke back, but, oh my god. That was a very awkward exchange at the end there.
A couple of mechanical misplays here from OB and Vici Gaming easily getting the better exchange here. The thing is, if this top lane turns into a 3-on-3, they're already winning the 2 other lanes. Void will lose to Enigma. I think Xiaowei is actually doing fairly well here, all things considered, with how hard that lane should be. He's doing an
no. 2 hero stomp top lane. Double edge on the Zhou. The Split Earth will be there, but one more auto attack will finish him off. The Shadow Fiend dies another time. And now they turn, potentially going for 820. Another Frost Blast. Super still alive. Sunstrike. Nope, not going to connect. Not even close, really. 820 will end up surviving, though. They get the counter kill. They work on FYs now on the Lich, and with the poison stacks adding up, he's got to juke this third one. Actually, is a level 3 poison already. Wow, he's level 5. That's pretty scary. That might be enough to salvage this lane. Does do a lot of damage. Look at these support levels, man.
Big deal. Yeah. Whenever you have support exchanges this early on, the support levels are going to shoot through the roof, and I think this favors the Dire more than the Radiant. They're playing against a Lich who doesn't really benefit from the levels as much as Shadow Demon on the Shrek do, I would say, until he hits that level 6. And in addition to that, it's a good way of safeguarding the Shadow Fiend if you have a strong support duo on the lane, so I think that's alright, but once again, the problem is what is going to happen in the other lanes. If they keep fighting up there, Black is going to get out of control eventually. Invoker currently 10 CS against 34 of Morphling with 21 denies as well, so Invoker getting horribly underleveled. Now he's even going to get ganked to boot. He's totally dead here in the mid lane.
And then we'll go to Black.
These solos, not gonna lie.
Now bottom lane, there was a Chronosphere, but Ice still standing through this. He'll end up going down. So they get a return kill in the bottom lane, and OB start to shake things up. That is an Enigma as well, so all those extra denies that he had to pull ahead of Xiaowei in levels will now kind of rebound the other direction, and this will get Xiaowei his treads. Your Shadow Fiend for Zhou, getting a little bit of breathing room, but only a little bit. And this is the one issue with Shadow Fiend Sind, and it's one of the reasons why we've seen him less than the current version. He can get shut down very easily by all this early aggression. And with 2 nukes, he's nearly dead already. He's going to pop again, it looks like. One more Arcane Bolt scores the kill.
Bottom lane, Ice, he just TP'd into his death right then. He's going to be gone for a long time here. I like the rotations from OB a lot. I think staying in the top lane here might not necessarily be the right choice. Although I said they could have a better lane there, I think they need to make sure they take care of their solos. Shadow Demon being level 5 is great and all, but if your 2 solos aren't faring well, it doesn't matter that you get a slight victory in that top lane. That's not good enough. So helping out the Void here of Xiaowei, getting 2 kills and now almost getting a tower, I think was a way better exchange than anything they could have gotten in the top lane. And now the next step is get Invoker into the game.
And the Shadow Fiend. The Shadow Fiend needs some help. He's 1 and 3. He is the better comeback hero, and he is CSing well, 31 and 8, but they just keep on pressuring him. And they're going to go again, it looks like. They've got Chain Frost online. Just that first concussive shot with the lane ward, they could pretty much dive this. They don't have Vision of Joe right now, but they know where he's not. He's not in this area, which leaves very few places where he could lurk. And he's going to walk back into Vision. Fenrir just plinks him over the tree line. Oh, that might actually end up saving his life. Well, he certainly knows they're nearby now. Man, the pressure on him and the Invoker is just immense.
Double TPs. The supports are going to show up again. 820 is half health though, and DD only has 150 mana. They can use one spell, but they realize the ward is there because of that auto attack. So great sentry here from 820, or no, DD. Sorry.
Oh, they're bringing in the reinforcements. Black wants to rotate top, and looks like he may think better of it. The one thing they do have to be careful about now is that Xiao 8 has his Chronosphere online. He is level 8 with a max bash. Mask of Madness coming soon. All the aggression from Vici on the tower has been fine until now, Sin. But if they overextend this time around and he has a TP, which he currently does, this could end poorly for Vici. So I think wisely playing it safe at this point.
Yeah, I don't think they have to be over-aggressive here. They know that as long as they deny Shadow Fiend quite a bit of farm, and as long as Black is farming and Ice is also getting his in the bot lane, then I think they're going to be happy overall. The trade-off here right now is that Void got a comeback. So that's the one concern, but you know what? They're going to deal with that now as well.
Spotted out by a Radiant Ward, though. They're going to try and move towards Black, and not able to find the opening. Zhou will make the long walk back to his base. He's not going for that
mid lane. In mid.
Oh no, this is not good. Has a cold snap. Does turn it, but
much.
Yeah, dies
just
again.
Even level 1 Ancient Seal with Waveform is like a 350 damage nuke after reductions. It's kind of insane.
They're looking for super top lane. There's no Stampede here. Disruption will start it off. This could be a nice return kill. Split Earth. Gotta land this one. There you go. Needs the one raise. The second one missing. He used the long range raise, but super ran in. That catching Joe off guard. Now 820. Nearly finished off by this Chain Frost, which keeps on bouncing. It's one kill for the Lich. It's gonna be a double for FY. Even on frickin' Lich.
Too.
He can sacrifice. He can get the third. With the Frost Blast, it's a triple kill. No. How does he do it? Every freaking game, man. Doesn't matter. Sand King, Lich, he's always stacking up the kills. 4-1 and 4. Oh my! It's like he bends the game of Dota to his will. Sin. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. But what a play though! Getting that Chain Frost at that exact time and getting those bounces. He wasn't even particularly lucky, I think, on the chain. So can't even blame it on the RNG. Just completely outplayed. And Joe, I think he got juked a little bit by the Centaur there. He thought Centaur would run in a straight line. Then he made a slight backstep. And because of that, the long raise missed, and then he ran out. So very nicely played by Vici as well here. Just in all 3 games so far, they seem mechanically superior simply to their counterparts here.
Oh, this might be a kill on Fenrir, though. Yeah, gets caught out, gets the bash. He needs like 1 or 2 more. Oh, there you go. Sunstrike secures the kill. A much-needed comeback for Long DD, who still only has 850 gold. At this point, you'd usually see the Midas and then some out, but oh, he might get caught mid. Long DD, can't believe he turned back around. I guess he's baiting with the disruption, but that will cost DD his life. Gets caught out, then the black hole pulling 2 back in. Ice dropping very low to the nuke damage, but not finished off. Will now retreat, be earned up. I mean, Long DD literally just walked back into certain demise. And they're going to lose more, perhaps. 820. Just managed to get off the stun.
Earth. Wow, very well played there. Predicting the waveform of Black in his new positioning. Showing some of his former glory right there.
This Invoker is just
a little bit of flashback.
He's really in the dumpster for farm right now, Sind. 2,700 net worth. The enemy Lich is way ahead of him. Almost 1k gold. Oh, man.
Yeah, and it's not because he's played a bad game. It's just impossible to win that lane. I think the biggest mistake Long DD has made all game was his starting items. Because perhaps he could have got a little bit more if he had some more regen, so he could play with some more confidence in the lane. Maybe skilling Quas early on could have also helped, but then again, how are you supposed to last hit with points in Quas instead of Extort against a Morphling? It's kind of... It is just an absolutely unwinnable lane. Now, the real challenge begins now when he has to try to make the comeback. I like that he's not going for a Midas, because I think it's going to be too late. So instead, electing to go for Treads here, maybe into a Necrobook, or maybe it's just a flat-out Necrobook without Treads here. Looks more likely, actually. I like that choice a lot. He just needs to be able to fight before it gets too late.
Shall we? He just made the journey from bottom to mid. Now he's going to TP back bottom and look to go again. Well, FY, he's going Midas. Send, well, I assume Midas. Maybe we're going to see a Maelstrom. Who knows? But, I mean, honestly, go whatever the hell you want at this point, FY. You're that farmed. You could do it. He's got 1,000 gold up. And this will be a very fast level 16 for the Lich. It'll be an early Axe for him as well if he wants to go that route, and that Lich Axe can do a lot of work. Gets disrupted though. Well, this will slow it down.
Not that way.
No. I'm trying to dodge the split earth. That ain't gonna happen. FY Chain Frost stampeding him and a bit closer. It will bounce once, twice, back to the corpse.
He almost lived through that.
Then Black will get the second kill. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Chronosphere from Xiao White onto Ice Ice Ice. He goes for the wraparound super, and Fenrir like, well, we can silence. That's about it. Casual auto tech from Joe securing that kill. Looking for the... No, he's just skilled Requiem. He stopped, forgot to skill it, and then turns around to do it. Whiffs on the raise. Oh, this is not cutting it. There's a blink ready. There's no mana for a stomp just yet, but that will be up in about 10 mana. As Joe jukes into the trees, has no teleport scroll. I don't know if they really want to go on him when they're this low. Good raise timing could cost them. A20 also coming in, looking to support that Shadow Fiend, who's still dancing around until they continue pursuit. Now they're going to cut off his path of retreat. He's stuck around. He's really stuck around. They're going to blink it with a stomp here. Joe, double edge to follow this up. The nukes will come in from Skywrath. That's not much mana left on Fenrir, though. But the Sunstrike, just missing super. He ends up popping anyway. That's
the second Sunstrike missed in a row. This one is, I feel like, is more forgivable for Long DD. But the one in the top lane that actually allowed Lich to get the Chain Frost off, that one was the more costly one. It cost them both their supports. And he even had the setup for both the Disruption and the Leshrac stun. So it looked like miscommunication in that instance. But yeah, this one in the bottom lane is really hard to hit. I'm surprised Joe is... He seems really hesitant to use his raises. It's almost like he doesn't have confidence in his hero. He's moving around, not really sure about when and how to use the raises compared to what we're used to seeing from him. Nice gank here, by the way, on Ice 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 by OB, but the turnaround is there. Black with another kill here. Currently 6-0 with 100 CS at 14 minutes. Yep, that is a pretty farmed Morphling. 8,000 gold.
Oh, they might even get the Shadow Fiend again. They're diving for Joe. No, they'll let him live. They have mercy for the time being. Yes, and his Shadow Fiend has not been... I have heard some reports that people are complaining that the animations seem delayed. Like, I'm not sure if it's just a visual glitch or what. I haven't had a chance to play the hero since the model rework, but I wonder if maybe that is something to do with it. Not trying to make excuses for Joe, but this has been reported by quite a few people. So, well, either way, top lane, there's a Chronosphere onto FY. He will be silenced. He's trying to dodge away from a potential Mystic Flare. Nice movement from Xiao Wei, just ensuring that doesn't happen. Now they'll chase onto Black. Mystic Flare still being held in reserve. Look for the black hole right now. Read it and weep, Long DD. Caught out, stomped, and then finished off. The disruption used on Joe, but they can't save both carries with that. And now he'll be pursued a bit farther. Super chasing, has no stampede. The Lightning Storm will slow down this chase, and now they might look to turn it. Still lurking in the wings of Xiao Wei. Stops to farm the creep wave, then time walks over these four. And he'll just back off in the end. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with it for the Shadow Fiend. Or maybe he's just rusty on the hero and not feeling very confident.
It certainly does look different when he casts it. And a big part of playing a hero like Shadow Fiend, which is so timing-based, is the visual feedback you get when you start casting your spells. If you're not used to the new animations, you might get a little bit confused with what exactly your timings are. And I'm with you on that. They look significantly different, so I think you just need to play the hero once or twice and get used to it. And maybe Joe hasn't played it until now. Maybe they just decided, you know what, we're behind really much in this series. We're going to put on a show. We're going to play a less popular hero, and we're going to do our very best to maybe play a surprise pick here and get the best out of it. But
yeah, I gotta say, these look very different. And honestly, like, they look awkward to me, so I think there may be some truth to that. But mid lane, jump on a Long DD. Mystic Flare, Stampede, Stomp, Double Edge, easy kill. But that said, I mean, like you said, you play it a few times and you can get adjusted to pretty much anything. It just feels a little slow. Like, he swings his arms and then the raise kind of comes out afterwards instead of, like, the more natural and fluid motion from the old model or even what was in Warcraft 3.
Yeah, just looking at Joe casting 2 raises, I'm pretty sure there isn't a bug with the actual time. It just doesn't seem so intuitive when the raise lands when he casts it, when you look at it. But
it's because like the arm swinging like ends before the raise comes out instead of like as it ends the raise arrives, which is I'm pretty sure how it used to be. I don't know, but like you said, I think the timing is in fact the same. It's just purely a visual thing. Well, he's gone for the Mushi build here. He's picked up the mech.
I like this choice a lot because the team really needs it against this Vici lineup. There's so much AoE damage, so he'll be able to heal up a lot of damage with this. And perhaps they can take a fight off it. He doesn't need to be a big carry yet because there's a lot of damage coming out from Xiao 8, and of course the Invoker just being level 11 and having those 2 Forge Spirits, even if you have terrible farm, you can still do a lot of damage with just your spells. So I think it's a good choice here. We'll see if OB managed to get a fight off it, though. It looks like they're smoking up, looking for something here. Maybe they find the Courier. Nope, they don't.
No, they find a Chronosphere, though, on Ice Ice Ice. Who's going to get the kill? Show looking for it with the raises. But it ends up going the way of Xiao 8's Void, who is still farming. Like, yeah, this Morphling is gigantic, but the Shadow Fiend and Void are actually well in it. And in terms of farm, you've got 95 CS on Zhou. He's certainly kept that up, and considering the aggression on his lane, that is impressive. The Void at 89, and with the kills slightly leading. But Black's walking out with the Liquid Sphere and gold in the piggy bank already. And now we see a Midas come out for FY. It's been a bit delayed by a few of those deaths, but there's going to be action mid. Rotation coming in from Super. He's got the Blink Stampede. Straight on 820 will go. He stampedes forward onto DD. They don't want that defensive disruption being pesky. Mystic Flare, no mana for it. He's got stick charges. Won't need it. Waveform securing another one. But these are only the supports, and the rest of OB are pushing in the bottom lane and still keeping their farm up a bit. Do they have enough time, I guess, is going to be the question.
So, Black will obviously snowball harder than the Dire heroes will, but I don't think being at a disadvantage in gold necessarily means that they can't fight, because I think their heroes actually, in comparison to Morphling, I think both Void and Shadow Fiend can get a lot. Oh, he even got the deny.
Did you see that casual zoning hold? It's just like, get out of here. Oh, man.
Yeah, but... Oh, there's a tower going the other way, so advantage VG again, but... my point is, if both Shadow Fiend, Void, and Invoker get farm, and it's a trade-off for Black getting extremely farmed, I think they can actually still deal with a Morphling with their combination of heroes. Even if they're behind by 5 or 10k gold, as long as those 3 cores are farmed, it's definitely within the realm of possibility, because the other heroes in Vici just don't scale as well as the Dire lineup does. It's kind of similar to Game 2 so far, actually.
FY may have a word with us if he farms the Dags, though. If he's throwing out a perma-bouncing Chain Frost every minute, yeah, that could mix things up a bit. But,
or if he goes for MKB Daedalus.
Yeah, that's one way to mix things up. Might need the Mask of Madness for that increased attack speed if you want to go that route. And he may get caught out here. Oh, Xiao 8 was...
Good awareness here. He doesn't even have vision, but realizes that this might be a risky move and backs off. By the way, look at the warding here from the Dire, really aggressive inside the Radiant jungle. Looking for opportunities here to try and take control of the map, but haven't been successful as of late, and, well, we'll see. This ward is about to expire down the Radiant jungle, and then they're going to lose some much-needed control.
And with that, they're going to make a jump on mid. Black caught out? No, just a raise. They had DD in reserve, but just, I guess, protecting him more than anything. That is the issue, though. Like you said, they can't really pick off the Morphling unless they manage to farm a Hex, which is going to be a long time before that happens.
Yeah, well, Invoker is well on the way with his Necro 1. So it's going to take at least... If this pace is kept up, he'll have it by about 50 or 60 minutes. It's just, he's that starved, and there's not that much to do. One thing we talked about yesterday, or the day before rather, about the new Ethereal Blade, we said it might be better on Morphling, and we're going to see Black showcasing it this game, I think, with that Ghost Scepter. We'll be upgrading that. So the change is now when you use Ethereal Blade, it's weaker in terms of the travel time. Before it used to be instant, now it has a movement speed of 1100, the projectile it shoots. But instead, you don't get Ethereal yourself, and that, I think, is, in most cases, a buff to Morphling, because then he can shotgun and immediately follow through.
Chronosphere was used. They get a kill on the Enigma, then Super force-staffing in. Can't find the stomp opening. Maybe they even turn and go back in on him with Cold Snap. No invoke right now for long TD. He already invoked the Ice Wall. So they'll back off, and interestingly, they actually win a fight under their own tower without their mech carrier, who was off pushing the top lane. So a win there for them, but to go back to your point, the shotgun is nearly out, and it does mean after you use the shotgun, you can then go in for additional auto attacks, which you often need to just finish off some of these heroes. Long DD, look for the leap bottom lane. They'll stampede, they'll jump on him. There's no disruption yet, they gotta get it off. Oh, he got silenced. Fenrir was too quick. And DD won't be able to save his friend. I guess the timing's a little weird, though, with the new shotgun. Like, you have to use the Ethereal Blade, wait for it to hit. I haven't actually used it yet, but just based on the change and how it's described, you'd have to, like, use it, wait for it to actually connect, and then use your adaptive strike. So it's kind of a different timing.
Ice gets caught out.
Black
oh, he didn't catch Lesh in the hole.
Looked like he did. It was like, it like looked like he'd be pulled in, but he was just on the boundary, I guess.
Yeah, that was really on the edge. But don't underestimate how fast that projectile travels. 1100 move speed is like double haste. That's how fast it is right there.
Yeah, plenty of, especially when Xiao runs in. But he does a BKB, so he'll survive. Doesn't matter though. Black with the double damager and not
He's
beating
hitting
Ghost Form.
400 right now. They could get Roche.
Yeah, and he just keeps
And
on
they
morphing
will.
more to Agi. He's full Agi now. This will be a very easy Roche. They can use this illusion to tank if he move commands it in, and we'll do that. And Roche is getting absolutely chunked down.
That is pretty scary how much damage Black is dealing right now. I think they will be giving the Aegis to maybe the Centaur here. No, he will be giving away his stick. Okay, so there we go. Picks it up. Going for the bottom tower as well. I mean, why not? He's still... Oh, his DD did expire, so won't be having that for it. Shit. Farming the Necro Book.
What a play! What a player!
I think he's like a bot now that's coded so that if two targets are close to each other, he automatically casts Chain Frost.
He's soon gonna have. He's basically got the eggs, man. 3,000 gold up. He's almost got his level 16 with this Midas as well. We're almost certainly, if they don't GG out, gonna see this perma bouncy Chain Frost. We'll stampede in from long range. They get the jump on long DD. Mystic Flare's there. Disruption from DD once again, not in time.
They really hate long DD in this game.
And there's a shotgun.
He's getting shut down so hard.
Yeah, they just lost two. Two for nothing. And it's just like you look at the cores of OB, and although they're getting some farm on Xiao and the Shadow Feet, they're not actually exerting any pressure on the map. Whereas Black is running around killing people and farming and taking towers.
He's currently 8-0-4, and he has a replicate out of the Centaur, and there's nothing to remove this replicate. They don't have any Hex, any Mana Drain, or anything like that. So Black can return to this when he wants. I think he might do it now just to secure the tower, or they think they can do it without it, or they're maybe even playing the bait here with that Centaur illusion.
Pipe not coming in, it looks like. Courier almost ran over, the Stumpy almost flew over Xiao, but barely missing. And for now, that replicate is just... they're using the return damage to bring down this creep wave.
Oh, Joe. Wow, Black not going for the... Okay, now he will.
Oh, concussive shot. Shotgun can follow this up. Yep, there's your Ethereal Blade and pops him like a pinata.
Yeah,
the Ancient Seal bonus
synergy
damage.
with Ancient Seal, that's... Yeah, okay.
It's okay. In the meantime, FY's nearly completed the eggs, and he can use a Chain Frost here soon to secure that. Although he gets chronoed. Buy your items quickly, FY. No, he can't. He'll end up going down. That'll set him back 400 gold. Xiao, the only one who really seems to be able to do anything for his team right now, Sind.
Yeah, he does have a lot of farm even in that offlane position. Having BKB Mask of Madness, and I think he had the BKB for at least 4 or 5 minutes now, is actually really good farm. So he's doing a great job, but it's not going to be enough if his team don't get any farm, and especially that Invoker is just so dead poor. There's like nothing he can do right now at this point. The supports, 820 has a decent amount on the Lash, but he's still...
Oh,
yeah.
No. Stomp on two. Super's jumped in. He finds out Xiao 8. The shotgun was used as well. Then waving forward will be Black, securing another kill that way. And like you said, it's like Xiao 8, even if he finds these solo kills, there's not much to follow that up. Maybe if they hit the Meteor, Deafening Blast, Triple Rage, Shadow Fiend Requiem, then they can bring down at least a bunch of the supporting cast, but that's asking a lot. That is asking a lot out of him. And this is not going to help when Joe gets caught up mid lane. There's a defensive disruption, no Stampede, but 4-staff Reaver, plenty of defensive capabilities here for Super.
Oh, you can do that?
What?
He dodged the Ethereal Blade with Shadow Blade.
Oh, huh.
Because it's a projectile, then it can miss on Shadow Blade. That's interesting. So you can also... I think you can also disjoint it with Blink.
Yeah, I guess it's a normal projectile then.
Yeah.
Like equivalent to like
I still intuitively just thought it would be hitting Shadow Blade, but it doesn't. That's an interesting counter here. I'm not sure if that's the reason Joe picked it up, but it's pretty interesting that there's an interaction there.
I guess we look at Vici. The only heroes that can really hunt him are the Centaur and the Morphlane. The rest aren't particularly mobile, unless you get a good Stampede off, so... This may allow him to split push in general, but bottom lane Chronosphere comes out, BKB from Xiao. He's caught too, he needs to bring Ice down before this mech comes out, and he will do so. Can turn now onto the Scarth Mage, but Black's gotten into the backlines. He starts chewing through them with another double damager. He just incinerates their entire team. The Chain Frost thrown out. They've lost 4. Black is hunting for the 5th. Joe Shadowblade still going, but Black waves in again. He's dancing around now. FY getting close to that Aghanim Scepter.
He's actually strong enough with the double damage to defy the backdoor protection right now. This is absolutely insane farm coming out of Black. His GPM is above 700 now in a 27-minute game, and this is before pushing the base. He can probably kick that up by about 50 to 100 if he gets a couple of towers and kills here inside the base, and even barracks. Oh, Joe.
Well, that just happened.
Not the way to do that.
That just happened. And it is not actually an Aghs. It's going to be a Shiva's Guard, which has some really nice synergy with this Black Hole and the Morphling. And GG! Just like that. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. Vici Gaming are your I-League champions.
This was, you know, it makes you think when you saw this Grand Final series play out in the best of 5 with the whole way the brackets went. I feel like Vici Gaming played the semifinals and the finals in their first 2 rounds, pretty much. They had to get through Newbie and they had to get through IG. They won both of those, I believe, 2-1. And then you just had the feeling that going up against OB, who struggled against Rave, and I believe they also, what was their first match again? That was against Virtus Pro. I think that was 2-1 as well. Didn't seem that convincing. I feel like it still makes a great story that they made the finals with this team, but I still have the feeling that were the brackets set differently, we would have a different kind of grand final where Vici would be playing a best of 5 against Newbie or IG, and that would probably have been less one-sided. But you can't take anything away from Vici. They beat all the hardest opponents on the way to the grand finals, so they kind of deserve an easier grand final. But of course, maybe it's a little bit of a shame, but they had some really good series against the other 2 teams earlier.
And of course, all these players are great sports, and I think, like you said, this one doesn't like shatter the old boys the way it might some of the other teams in China. They've won a lot in their day. This was not supposed to be a team that challenged for major championships. More a team, because they still like playing competitively, they just don't want to give their lives to it necessarily, where they can have some fun, win some tournaments. It's a more relaxed approach for these veterans. But that said, Vici Gaming, it's not just like, oh, they managed to beat the team that's not really practicing. They absolutely dominated them, completely annihilated them. FY looked amazing, and Vici Gaming continued to impress in general in China, and I think it's fair to say at this point, Sin, their results are suggesting that they are the best team in the region, at least for now. They've qualified for ESL, yeah. They've qualified for Star Ladder, and I believe for first place out of that region, and they're just looking scary from top to bottom.
And I've been really positively impressed with how well Black is fitting into this team right now. I think a lot of people were a little bit concerned about, first of all, when Black started playing with the Chinese teams, how well he would mix with them, and the whole CIS story with the team not really, like, it seemed like in the start when he joined, the team was kind of rallying around Black, but you just had the feeling when things weren't going so well that they weren't really talking together. The 4 Chinese players were more talking together, and Black was kind of on his own in that team in a sense.
Right.
But as far as synergy goes, this seems like Black has found a really good home, and he has been playing amazingly over the last times. He kind of got a reputation for being a very one-dimensional carry player, a lot reliant on farm and not really participating so much in fights, but he's been playing all sorts of carry styles for this team, and they've all been working, so really a great job by him fitting in with this team the way he has, and I think they've got a really bright future ahead of them in the upcoming big lands the way they're playing right now.
And like you said, I mean, he had some question marks around him, and I think he answered some of those, at least as far as the one-dimensional aspect. Going into TI4, he was playing a lot of Axe in the Chinese qualifier. A couple of other, we saw his Pudge at times, I think. And he has just been playing a wider variety of heroes, so he seems to be more comfortable in those. And the other thing is, like you said, it's not just that they're winning, but like he feels like he's a part of the machine. You know, he's not just off on his own. He's had some misplays here or there, but so too does everyone. Overall, he's moving with the team. He's playing around the supports. They even ran him on the Tiny Wisp run game, and he was pretty on point with FY together. They seem to be in sync, so maybe it's just a testament to how good the support players of Vici are, because they are certainly spectacular. But one way or another, it's working out for Vici. They look great, and well, with that, Sin, that will wrap up our I-League coverage here. Any closing thoughts or final words before we call it a day?
I think we've pretty much covered it, you know. I guess, no, that's it.
All right. Well,
good game.
Short and sweet. GG. They're spending an awful lot of time here celebrating the old boys, considering they didn't actually win the tournament. But yeah, I think that just shows you
the fan favorites, I guess, in a sense.
They have that reverence from the fans, yeah, and well deserved. They've done a lot for the Chinese Dota scene in their day, and maybe we'll see some of them return in the future. But Well, with that said, guys, that concludes iLeague. Congratulations to Vici Gaming. They are your champions. Old Boys finished second. They still take home a lot of prize money. And on that note, that will wrap up the broadcast. Coming up next week, we have the WCA LAN Finals. We'll have probably a more well-known spread of teams for that. So if you want to catch the next big Chinese LAN, it'll be here on Beyond the Summit. Sind, I believe you'll be joining me for at least some of that, pending the schedule for the event. Is that correct? Am I putting you on the spot here?
yeah. That's great. Put me under pressure, right? I don't remember the exact dates, but I'm pretty sure that it fit my schedule fairly well, if not very well. So I'd be surprised if we can't find a way of casting a lot of that.
All right, guys. Well, you heard it here first. Cinderin will cast every single game from WCA.
Get lost.
It's a stone cold lock. They're like 14-hour days. I don't think you'll do all of them. But thank you for joining me, Cinderin, for iLeague coverage. Guys, you can follow him on Twitter at CinderinDota if you're not already. Hopefully most of you are. Myself at LDDota if you'd like. All VODs from the tournament will be up at youtube.com/BeyondTheSummitTV. And once again, congratulations to Vici Gaming. A well-deserved win, and the Old Boys for finishing second. Until next time, it's LD and Cinderin and the rest of Beyond the Summit signing off. We'll see you later.